Welcome to Luxury Dallas, your go-to guide for this city's finest. If your holidays weren't light and bright enough for you, well then this is the perfect show for you. Coming up on today's show, we visit a special boutique property nestled in the heart of Highland Park that's lighting up the Park Cities in more ways than one. Then we head over to Skintastic to learn about an easy and safe procedure to make us all a little more light heading into the new year. And finally, what brighter star is there on the local culinary scene than Kent Rathbun? So don't go anywhere, because this promises to be another exciting show. I'm standing in the lobby of Hotel Lumen, where Mad Men meets modern, about to sit down with the general manager, Brian Harris, so he can tell you why this is one of my favorite retreats for me and my pets.
My name is Brian Harris. I'm general manager of the Lumen Hotel. I was brought from New York City, transferred with Kimpton as an assistant general manager at 70 Park Avenue Hotel, and was brought to Dallas as the general manager of the Lumen. The Lumen was originally called Hotel Lumen, and this property has been in existence for about 6 years. We, in the last 2 years, have taken on a major renovation of the hotel, and we have now expanded an additional 33 rooms, so we're at 93 rooms now. We currently have a pool, a brand new restaurant, and it does take care of our SMU needs for the university, but we've grown into now looking at other aspects for the hotel, such as entertainment, along with our community as well. Being a Kimpton property in Dallas has brought a new type of hotel to Dallas in general. Just with our initiative programs and including our wellness programs, our restaurant programs, our In Touch programs, and our Live Like a Local programs that we have with Kimpton is something that is totally new to the Dallas market, and we're able to set a forefront really as who we are as a company in the Dallas area. One of our programs with Kimpton is called Live Like a Local, and it really truly is that we want our guests to experience everything that we do as a local. So we actually have all of our employees will give their recommendations of what different restaurants that they like to go to, or maybe it's the state fair that we like to go to, different things like that, where our guests can experience those different areas that maybe they wouldn't normally see if they're just staying in a hotel. We also have a bike program, and our bike program is for our guests, and they can use the bikes to maybe go run an errand, or if they're just going to SMU for a short meeting and they want to take the bike and use the bikes more as an eco-friendly way of transportation, but also it can get them to part of our wellness program, which is exercising and going to the Katy Trail, which is one of the best trails, I think, in the United States that we have here in Dallas. So it allows for them to be able to exercise and get that wellness program, and also be a little eco-friendly as well. I just mentioned our wellness program, and many different things that we have here as a Kimpton Hotel and here at the Lumen is that we have hula hoops. We actually have exercise hula hoops. We like to play games here at the Lumen. We like to have fun with our guests. So you could be checking in at any moment, and a front desk agent may ask you if you want a hula hoop. And it's part of our wellness program. So it's something that we're really big on in the Kimpton programs that we have to offer, such as wellness. Another program that we have is our Women in Touch, and Nikki Leondakis, being our COO of the company, is a big advocate for this, because she is a female traveler herself and understands what a woman needs when they're traveling. And again, it can include our wellness program, it can include our eco programs, but it really talks about what a woman needs when she's staying alone in a hotel as a business traveler. And that can be her safety, her comfort, her likes, her dislikes. Maybe she likes red wine, maybe she likes white wine. It's an opportunity for us to be able to be in touch with our women travelers and know what their needs and expectations are. Dress for Success is one of our programs that we work with on a regular basis on a corporate level and a local level. Again, Nikki Leondakis, our COO of the company, is very passionate about the organizations. One of the reasons she's so passionate is that we actually use Dress for Success as a way for us as a company to help women learn how to the interview process, provide uniforms for them, provide clothing for them, hair, makeup. We love to incorporate Kimpton's style and the flavor and the fun that we have as a company to these women. We actually have several women who have come from Dress for Success program that are employed with Kimpton today. We are an eco-friendly hotel. We take it a little step beyond with Kimpton because we are a Green Keyed certified hotel, which means that we actually go through an audit system of all of the chemicals that we use, the paints that we use on our walls, the Vox levels. I know that's kind of technical, but those are very important to us to know that our levels are at a point where it doesn't affect our guest. If somebody has allergies, it also just is great for the environment, including our composting that we do on property. We do have a system here at the hotel which we're really excited about. It's called our Blink system. We are one of the three, not hotels, but one of the three areas that you can actually plug your electric car into and recharge. It is complimentary to all of our guests. I know that we may even have some neighbors using that as well, and we're okay with that. But it is a nice benefit for our guests to be able to charge their car up within a half hour and be on their way. The Lumen Hotel was originally, when it was called Hotel Lumen, was the measurement of light. Lumen is the measurement of light, or the illumination of light. With the new property that we have now, as you can see, there's a lot of open air feel. There's a lot of glass. There's more natural lighting that's coming in to the property. Also, it includes our pool area, which lights up in the evenings, our rooftop terrace, which overlooks some of the city, and also SMU, that in the evening has beautiful lighting. So really the hotel now, rather than just being an element of light, it's all about the natural lighting and what the hotel can bring in from the outside into the inside. A lot of the artwork that you see in the hotel is really brought to us by local artists. Artists who have captured light. Maybe it's an aerial view of different cities, such as Chicago, I believe, is one of them that you'll see. And it may be turned, and it may be a different direction of the city itself, but it's all about light. We've got another piece that's a large piece, and it looks like just water. But if you really get close enough to it and look, it's the reflection of the light on the water. I think that's what's really important about that piece here at the Lumen. If you'll notice, most of the hotel is done in more of a mid-century look. The fabrics that we're using, the styles, the colors, the textiles that we're using throughout the hotel are very bright, very airy, and again, they have that light element to it. There's a lot of reflective pieces that we have even in our rooms with the different textiles that are silvers and golds. Again, it plays off that light feel, and you get that excitement from the different fabrics and textures. One of my favorite programs that we have here at the Lumen is our pet-friendly program. We definitely love our pets. We love our four-legged friends to come in and be our pet guest. We definitely want to make sure that they're comfortable just as much as our guests are, that we provide pillows for them and blankets and water and treats. It also helps our pet parents to feel comfortable, so they don't feel that they're going to a strange place with their animal and nobody's going to like them, because we do. We love them, so please bring them. We also have our goldfish program, so if you don't have your pet with you, you can just count on us and we'll have a goldfish in your room waiting for you. The one great thing about that is that we found that guests love to see that goldfish every day. When they're checking into the hotel and they see that goldfish, they will name it themselves, they will talk to it, they will enjoy it, and it's wonderful for our guests who maybe weren't able to bring their pet with them, that they have a little comfort with them. With our current renovations that we just completed, the one thing that we've brought to University Park is the front room. It's the front room at Park City's diner. What's great about that is that there's a play on words there a little bit. A diner in Park Cities. It almost doesn't make sense. But when you come in and you experience and see the modern look of an old diner from the 1950s with the fabulous lighting and the amazing booths, again with the textures and the materials that are being used, it really feels that you have went from a 1950s diner to a 2013 or even beyond diner with the amazing food that's brought with it. We have many different items on the menu, but we noticed that a lot of our locals that are coming in are really interested in what we call our HP baskets, which is our Highland Park baskets. Louisiana shrimp HP basket seems to be one of the favorites that all of the locals are raving about. We're really excited about our renovation and everything that we've done in the last 2 years to create such an amazing atmosphere. So we really want our guests to be able to come in and experience what we've been looking for 2 years. And we're finally there. We've got such a great atmosphere within the hotel, and the guest experience that you will receive from not only the Lumen but all of our Kimpton hotels is of top-notch quality. We're really concerned about our guests. We want to be friends with our guests. We want to anticipate our guests' needs. And we also bring that into our restaurant as well. So even if you're a restaurant guest, you're still a guest of this hotel. One thing that we're really excited about is that we were just ranked the 3rd best kept secret hotel in the United States. We may be a secret right now, but word's getting out, and I think we're going to grow more and more and more.
So, where'd you have it done? Cheryl, you look fantastic.
Skintastic, girl. Skintastic over in Dallas. It was a perfect weekend. 5-star hotel, limo, just Jack and I, and no one in this town has a clue.
When it's time for a little nip tuck, let the pros at Skintastic set it all up over in Dallas. No hassle, no worry, and no one needs to know.
Fantastic. Skintastic.
We've all heard of Botox. The name Botox has become part of our everyday conversation, and with over 3 million Botox procedures performed in the United States last year alone, ever-increasing applications of the wonder drug, and increasing consumer demand and awareness of its inherent safety profile, there is no question that Botox has secured its place in our medication refrigerator here at Skintastic. The FDA approved the use of Botox Cosmetic in April 2002. Botox Cosmetic is used to temporarily improve the appearance of moderate to severe frown lines between the eyebrows, called the glabella, also by many referred to the 11s. It was the first relaxer to be approved here in the United States. Botox is a botulism type A, which is a protein produced by the bacterium Clostridium. When used in medical settings as an injectable form, the toxin in small doses into the affected muscles block the release of the chemical acetylcholine that would otherwise signal the muscle to contract. The toxin thus relaxes or weakens the injected muscle. That is why it's called a relaxer. Botox Cosmetic is used to treat adult patients who want to look younger. The most common areas are frown lines, forehead lines, and crow's feet. Other areas include the neck and upper lip. How long Botox lasts depends entirely on the patient, but a single treatment of Botox will normally be sustained for approximately 3 months. You will notice a gradual fading of its effects. Usually, Botox treatment is required only 3 to 4 times a year. Symptoms may vary throughout the course of the condition, so the degree of relief and duration varies from person to person. People often ask me, is Botox safe? I always tell them that if performed by a trained physician, there is minimal chance of danger. I perform Botox injections in the office every day, and the procedure takes about 10 minutes. Since the procedure is non-surgical, no recovery time is needed. After Botox Cosmetic treatment, you can go back to work or other activities right away. It takes about 5 to 7 days before the full effects can be seen.
I'm very satisfied with my results. I now understand why Botox Cosmetic is so popular. It really works. My frown lines are so much smoother. It's still the true me, just without those noticeable frown lines between my brows. I would definitely talk to the doctor about another Botox cosmetic treatment. I'm happy with my results, and there's a real history with the product.
But in the past 2 years, an increasing number of reports have been produced showing that Botox may finally have real competition in the battle of the wrinkle. As is generally happens, a newer product has been clinically tested that has been utilized in Europe and South America with promising results. Long before we ever see it here in the United States, only a couple of years old, the latest new injection is being marketed as Dysport or Xeomin, and it's giving Botox a run for its wrinkle. Dysport and Botox have similar mechanism of actions. They both are muscle relaxants. Dysport has a more rapid onset of action than Botox. So I use Dysport in people who want to see their effects sooner. Botox is a more precise drug. Dysport spreads more during the injection. This is both a good and a bad thing. It is good in that large areas that need injection, such as the forehead or armpits, would require fewer injections due to the spreading. This would mean less likelihood of potential discomfort, swelling, or bruising for the patient. It is bad unless the physician is an experienced injector with a good understanding of the more complex muscles around the eyes, between the eyebrows. The Dysport could spread into unwanted areas, causing unwanted side effects. As always, competition is a good thing. The emergence of an alternative drug to Botox should spur on pricing competition that will benefit both patients and physicians alike. Also, new research and development is already underway to provide the next bigger and better product. Anyone heard of PureTox, Xeomin, Revance? If not, you will soon. Time, as always, will tell, and the wait should be worth it. Any wrinkles that appear in the mirror now will have multiple options to address them. I'm often asked by patients, what should I use? Is it Botox? Is it Dysport? Is it a filler? Or what should I do? And these questions vary from individual. That's why it's so important to have a physician that has experience in all these areas. In general, from the eyes up, it's generally best to use one of the relaxers. That would be either Botox or Dysport. From the eyes down, it's generally better to use a filler. That would be either Restylane, Juvederm, Radius, or some others. The difference between them varies from patient to patient. Some patients want quicker onset of action. They want it for this weekend. They want it for 2 nights from now. Those patients, the answer is Dysport. Some patients want the tried and true, and in those patients, the answer is Botox. Men with larger foreheads or that are balding that need a greater surface area probably can use Dysport. Women with smaller areas that need the exactness of placement of the product probably do better with Botox. And in experienced hands, all these procedures, both the relaxers and the fillers, give patients a natural look. What I tell my patients, it's that everyone will notice you, but no one will know that you've done anything. So it makes them feel good. They look like themselves. They realize they're in a beauty. They feel better about themselves and how others perceive them.
So, you know, a lot of people ask why, you know, we have this whole catering program at our house, and you know, the weirdest thing is it started out years ago. We simply overbooked the restaurant, and we had a party that we had an opportunity to do for a buyout for the restaurant that was a rather large sum of money, but we had one reservation on the book. And so I called this person up and I said, hey, we have an opportunity to do a big piece of business. You're the only thing in my way. But I have an alternative for you. And so I offered him to come to my home and let us cater his party that he would have at Abacus at my house. And he graciously said, love to do it. And so, you know, we got the opportunity to do both pieces of business. But in that situation, sort of bloomed this idea of having all these cool parties at our home. And so then we started to kind of work up a program that allowed us to do that, whether it's a small dinner for 10 or a large party for 50 or 150. I mean, we've done things from all different levels of parties, whether they're sit-down dinners or receptions or nightcaps, scotch dinners, wine dinners. I mean, so it's been a fun thing for us, and so that's what this is all about. And so it's about it's a way for us to extend our home to our clientele. The folks that were here earlier were here because they had purchased an event from the American Heart Association. So I donated a dinner, sort of a dine-around in all of our restaurants in a limo to the American Heart Association. So they bid for this and they won in the auction, and they paid a pretty good penny. And so the dinner starts out here at my home with a little cheese and some wine, and tonight they got the added extra of being able to kind of be here when you all were here, and we filmed a little stuff and had a good time cooking, and so they got a little extra. But the idea is that they go to 3 different restaurants in the evening. Each restaurant does a course and a course of wine. They end up at Abacus. They start at my house, and it has been a very big success. In fact, so big that we've now started to do it for the public. And we, up until now, we've been doing it for 2 years just as a charity auction item, but now we're starting a program where we're going to probably do it at least once a quarter, possibly once a month. So it's going to be a fun thing, and it is definitely a luxury item. Abacus was my first restaurant. We opened it in 1999, so we've been open nearly 13 years. And for a Dallas high-end restaurant to be 13 years, I'm pretty proud of that. But Abacus is our sort of showboat restaurant. It's the shining star of the company. It's a high-end restaurant that has an eclectic menu. Certainly you have to have the lobster shooters if you go there. We have one of the best pastry chefs in the city. We have a group of chefs that have been with me for years, and we do some fabulous food. The restaurant's beautiful. It is a great place to go for an anniversary, just a night out, a birthday, whatever. If you haven't been to Abacus lately, you haven't been to Abacus. If you haven't been to Abacus ever, shame on you, you gotta get there. Let's talk about Jasper's. Jasper's was my second restaurant. The first Jasper's was opened in Plano and still is running in Legacy in the Tollway. If you like grilled meats and grilled chicken and grilled seafoods and homemade salads and soups and desserts, this is the place for you. This is a great restaurant. It is absolutely a reflection of everything that I grew up with. My dad was a great backyard cook. My mother was a great country cook. All of this is combined in a place that's beautiful, fun, a little sexy, and by the way, it's all done by chefs who know what they're doing. So if you haven't checked out Jasper's, you got to go north and check it out. And by the way, we're in Austin and Houston also. Rathwin's Blue Plate Kitchen. This is a fun restaurant. This is in Preston Center, right at Northwest Highway in Preston. We've been open now for about 3 years. It is an absolute awesome restaurant. If you're interested in checking out local food, local cuisine from Texas and around Texas in terms of produce, meats, cheeses, things like that, we have awesome selection of local products. We have a great chef there that works with us every day on making sure that we have seasonal, fantastic dishes. It's a little bit homey, sort of, but it's a fantastic restaurant. You got to go check it out. We're open for lunch and dinner and brunch. Brunch is fantastic on Sunday, so come and check it out. So if you want to get your sushi on, you got to go to Shinsei. You know, my wife came to me, I don't know, 6 years ago and said, hey, I want to open a restaurant. I said, you sell Porsches? What do you mean you want to open a restaurant? She goes, yeah, I think Lene Farron and I want to open a restaurant. We want to call it Shinsei. We want to serve sushi. We want to have a Pan-Asian kitchen. And I'm like, seriously? And I kind of thought that was going to be one of those things that went away over a couple of months. Guess what? It's one of the best restaurants in Dallas. If you haven't been to Shinsei, you got to come check it out. Best sushi. And do not miss the deep fried jalapeno stuffed with coconut chicken. Awesome. Hey, and by the way, if you want to have our meals or our food at your house, business, or other venue, we also have a little catering company called Kent Rathbun Special Events. And we do catering from everything from kids' parties to elegant dinners for anything from 10 to huge numbers. Our biggest party has been 1,800 so far. So we do really fantastic catering. And by the way, if you have your own private jet, and I hope you do because I need a ride out to California, we'll cater that for you. So let us know. We can do that and you'll be riding in style. My brother and I grew up in Kansas City in the Midwest. And I can tell you that my mother was in the restaurant business but not a chef. She went from being a server in just a mediocre restaurant to a maitre d' in a 5-star French restaurant in our young life. My dad was totally an armchair chef. He didn't cook, he wasn't a chef, but he was a great cook. He was also a musician. And so it was not uncommon for our family to have a great party with a jazz band, big barbecue going on a Sunday and have 30, 40 people a couple of times a month. I mean, this was the way we grew up. So not that my parents were really pushing us to be chefs, but I think we were destined to be in the kitchen. And so when I turned 14, I started cooking in a kitchen, and by the time I was 17, I was an apprentice in a French restaurant. By the time I was 21, I was the chef of a restaurant. So it's in my blood. I love it. I can't wait to do it every day. I love it. If you want to know the 3 things you need in your kitchen, it's a great sea salt, it's the right olive oil, and Kent Rathbun Catering. That's what you need.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Luxury Dallas, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. But until then, go like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter so that you can stay updated on all that is this city's finest. Luxury Dallas has been brought to you by Skintastic, your beauty realized. For information on booking a segment, contact Lamont PR. This has been a production of Media Matters, when your message needs to matter.